I have just seen the greatest boxing movie since Rocky. Southpaw stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Forest Whitaker, Rachel McAdams, and is directed by Antoine Fuqua. Guys, boxing movies are kind of a mixed proposition. Some are good, some are not so good. The granddaddy of them all, for me anyway, is the original Rocky, because it got so many elements right. It was emotional, and it was a great boxing movie. It had awesome training in it, it had an awesome fight at the end, but the core of the story was the heart. He just wanted to go the distance, and it was relatable. Southpaw hits on all those beats flawlessly. So in Southpaw, Jake Gyllenhaal plays Billy Hope, and at the beginning of the movie, he is the champion. He has won countless fights, and he's never been defeated. He's got a huge temper on him. He's got a big head. Then a horrible tragedy happens. And I'm going to talk about this tragedy because some people say that this is a spoiler, but in my opinion, it's not really a spoiler because this is pretty much what the whole movie is gauged on. So if you think what I'm about to say is a spoiler, then go ahead and turn this video off. But I'm telling you, it's not really a spoiler to me. It's even in the trailer. So of course, what I'm referring to is Billy Hope's wife dies, played by Rachel McAdams. That scene sets up the whole movie. Before that scene, things are just kind of going along, and you're thinking this is going to be just another almost 8 Mile-esque type movie, but the emotional punch of that particular scene really set the tone of the movie. And I gotta say, Rachel McAdams did such an amazing job in that scene, because we've seen so many death scenes in movies and we feel nothing from them. But this was the most realistic death scene I think I've ever seen on film. It was so emotional, and I felt for her character. I felt for Jake Gyllenhaal's character. The movie was only 10 minutes in, and I already felt like I wanted to well up and cry. And I'm a pretty tough guy, can't you tell? And after this event, Billy Hope goes on a huge downward spiral. He can't deal with this. He's not used to handling life on his own. His wife was pretty much taking care of everything for him, keeping him centered, keeping him focused. So eventually he loses everything, including his daughter. Guys, when I mention heart, I mean this movie has so much heart, and I love good boxing movies. Great boxing movies have heart in them. This movie almost has more heart than Rocky. There were at least 3 times during the movie where I just couldn't handle it. Maybe it's because I got kids, but oh my God, it was just so emotional. One thing I really loved is the acting in this movie. I'm not talking about just Jake Gyllenhaal. We'll talk about him in a minute, but Forest Whitaker. Wow. I mean, yeah, we already know he's a great actor. He's an Oscar winner, but man, he really owns this role. This is the best trainer type role I've seen since Mickey in the first Rocky. His character has so many layers, and from watching him play that role, you'd swear that he had played that role 3 or 4 times before. He is just so dug into that role. And there's one scene in particular where something tragic just happened in his gym, and he is sitting on the ropes with Jake Gyllenhaal's character, and the amount of emotion in that scene, meanwhile the guy is actually laughing. He starts off the scene where he is just completely beaten down, and then he just flips it. And a lot of actors would have played that scene very differently. They probably still would have cried, but he doesn't just add emotion to the scene by crying. He adds other layers to it, and it is just so powerful. Also, the editing in this movie is just perfect. It has all those beats that good boxing movies should have. You got the opening setup scene, then you got the tragedy, then you got the redemption, and then you got the training. The training scenes are so well done in this movie. There's one scene with Forest Whitaker again where he is showing Billy Hope a different way of training for the fight that he's going to have at the end. And I really loved that element of the movie. And it kind of reminded me of Rocky 3 when Apollo takes Rocky in and he teaches him a completely new way of fighting, and it was just so exhilarating and entertaining. And finally, Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal just owns this role. I mean, he should get an Oscar for this. He is just amazing, just great. And he is probably in my top 3 actors right now of the last 20 years. He is just He kills it in this movie. He is also great in Nightcrawler, which was one of my favorite movies of last year. But when you're watching this movie, within a few minutes, you don't see Jake Gyllenhaal anymore. You see Billy Hope. He just grabs that character and just gives layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. He's just so amazing in this role. So guys, as you've already guessed, I am definitely giving this movie Trapped on an Island. This is the best boxing movie I've seen since the first Rocky. And on a side note, I was looking on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think the critics gave this movie a little over 50%. And to me, that is shocking. I'm not the type of reviewer where what I think everybody should think. But this movie is just on such a level to me that it just shocks me that there are critics that don't like it. But I respect it. So in the end, what did you guys think of Southpaw? What are your favorite boxing movies? And also, with Creed coming up, I am definitely going to be reviewing all the previous Rocky movies. Look out for that. And finally, I just passed 600 subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys constantly give me the energy to keep doing this and to keep enjoying this. And I'm really just loving this path that I'm on right now. And I thank you guys so much. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, I swear. You guys are awesome. Anyway, guys, subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and Humdrum out.